Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the potential for snow, potentially significant snow across the UK and Ireland, as well as the kind of cold weather, the icy weather which is likely over the next week, 2 weeks, potentially a bit more. We've got quite a lot to cover in this video. It's quite an interesting, difficult forecast, so I might hesitate a bit more, speak a bit quicker than usual, but hopefully that's okay. We'll start off with the surface pressure chart. Quick reminder, the kind of H, that shows high pressure. Those black lines are lines of equal pressure, and then the wind flows clockwise around high pressure, so like that, and then anti-clockwise around low pressure, so we've got the low pressure there. And then each of these kind of lines, those are different fronts. And so this is today. You can see we have high pressure over Greenland. We've been saying it's going to be moving to kind of Greenland for quite a long time now. It's happened. We've got that cold northerly kind of pushing right into the UK, and you can follow the icy bars like that. And you can see now we've got the much colder air arriving into the UK, and more snow conducive air. You can see we have this dashed line here. You can just about make that out. That's the thickness line, and basically it measures a layer of of the atmosphere, and the thicker that layer is, the hotter it is, and the thinner the cooler. And what happens is when we get this 528 thickness line, that's kind of the marks like the transition from more kind of mild or average air to kind of colder and more snow conducive air across the UK. And you can see by Thursday we've got that cold northerly, and that drags down cold and snow conducive air across pretty much all of the UK and Ireland, actually all of the UK and Ireland, as you can see there. And so by kind of Thursday, Friday, we're really in proper cold weather. You can see we've got that low still out to the east, potentially a few fronts. Those could bring some precipitation, and then we have these black lines showing troughs or kind of area of low pressure, which generate lift and could also kind of potentially bring some like snow and kind of icy weather where that rain falls and then it freezes overnight. But definitely the potential for snow from these kind of small features. That's kind of the main thing to look out for. We are going to have continued showers across kind of northern areas. The cold front is already kind of now moving south, and we have these showers already feeding in across northern Scotland, parts of Northern Ireland, and into kind of parts of eastern England as well. As we get that cold air moving over the kind of more moist and mild seas, that generates instability. If we turn the weather type on, you can see we have pink, that's denoting snow, green kind of sleet, and then blue is just normal rain. And you see across especially high ground of northern Scotland, all turning to snow at the minute. Then we also have kind of areas of sleet, and then where the precipitation is lighter and nearer to the coasts, that's kind of mainly rain. But it's likely it's going to be all snow by kind of over tonight and tomorrow. We have a Met Office warning in force of those showers, 2 to 5 centimeters possible to lower levels, 10 to 15 centimeters above 200 meters, with the possibility of blizzard conditions and drifting. While we're on this page, I'll quickly look at some of the other Met Office warnings. So we have ice warning across Northern Ireland for tonight, as you can see there. Actually, all of tonight and then most of tomorrow. We have the same or a similar warning across parts of Wales and just about into parts of England, I think, as well. And then the same into parts of southwestern England. We'll get into that a bit about why that's there. And then we have a yellow warning of ice from 6 o'clock today to 12 o'clock tomorrow, and you can see similar thing, potential for some icy frozen surfaces, potentially some dangers walking around, driving from that. Then we'll kind of look at the models now, just to show you the overview of what's happening. I won't go into too much detail now because we've got a lot to talk about, but essentially we have that cold front now making its way south. You can see we've got that kind of much cold air. You can just about make out this line here. By the way, this is the temperature at 1.5 kilometers into the air, so it's not the surface temperature. Don't get too confused, hopefully. So you can see same thing as what that Met Office surface pressure chart showed. By Saturday, we've got this kind of slack low pressure. Temperatures really beginning to drop as we've got those cold temperatures sitting over us. And then, like I said, we're looking out for these small areas of low pressure. They're not big, they're not huge, but they're kind of small, and they're enough to generate lift that brings precipitation, which in the cold air turns to snow. And so we're going to potentially see a few of these. We've got one to look at to tomorrow and into Friday, which I'll talk about in a second. And then we have one potentially tomorrow across parts of Wales, Northern Ireland, and the southwest as well. So that's get to that in a sec. And you can see those kind of things continuing, potentially having some. There's one across France here in this model run. Don't take any of this too literally, because these small scale features are always changing in the kind of these low resolution models like the GFS. So it's only kind of 1 to 2 or maybe 3 days that we have kind of an idea on where they're exactly going to be. And then you can see continuing kind of onto Monday, past Monday, the weekend. I'll get into that in a bit. We have that cold air remaining in place. If I look at one of the high resolution models, sorry, for tomorrow and Friday, what you can see is, so colours is precipitation. Where we have that white kind of hatched lines, that's kind of showing snow. What you can see is we have showers across kind of through the Irish Sea, especially across West Wales, from kind of tonight into tomorrow, and that's potentially, we might get a slightly longer area of snow. You can just about make that out, potentially through kind of parts of Eastern Ireland here into the southwest. Might get a dusting of snow. It's possible we get more precipitation than forecast, but that's the main reason that ice warning is out, because if we get rain and then that's freezing overnight, it's going to be potentially be quite icy. Another thing you'll notice is towards the end of the run, we have this much kind of larger area of kind of precipitation turning to snow. This would be on Friday morning, Thursday night, Friday morning, basically. And that's basically another area, kind of small area of low pressure, which has generated lift to kind of allow kind of a more prolonged feature of snow. Not huge, but definitely enough to bring a covering through parts of the Midlands, and that kind of dies as it reaches kind of southern England. So that's potentially what's going to happen. If that was the case, we're going to be looking at 1 to 3 or 4 centimeters spread kind of through this region. Though these features are really small, and that means they're more hard to predict. And so this could easily end up being across possibly East Anglia, Western kind of Wales, the Midlands like here. It could be dying by the time it gets kind of past here. It could go all the way to the south coast. It could not happen at all. It's really hard to tell at this stage. By tomorrow's update, hopefully you have a better idea. But that's kind of one thing to look out for. If we go into the more kind of long range stuff now, because we kind of know what's going to happen in the next few days, it will be cold. Actually, I better talk about that quickly. It will be cold, actually, like I just said. I just reminded myself. Basically, this is the Met Office high resolution model. That's that feature I was just talking about on the French model, the aroma that I just showed you. So you potentially carrying into kind of parts of northeastern England, and then potentially further south, the remnants of it there, though nothing too certain in the minute. And you have those continuing showers across northern Scotland especially. But like I said, the wind's going to turn more slack with cold air on top of us. And that means we're going to have, in the night time, it's going to turn properly cold. You can see this is the Met Office UKV run, and you can see turning widely below 0, even in towns and cities below 0. And into the night, potentially getting really, really cold. Look at that, -8, -7 across parts of the southwest on Friday morning. Potentially getting to negative double digits in places I certainly wouldn't be surprised. You can see there, turns into below -10 across parts of high ground of northern Scotland. You can see parts of Ireland as well. Remaining cold. This is another really cold night next Monday. If you look at maximum temperatures, they're pretty similar, but even the daytime highs, it's likely going to be sub-zero for almost all of the UK, potentially even negative double digits as a high temperature in some places. But if we look at tomorrow, today's Thursday, you can see maximum temperature tomorrow 1-2 degrees, feeling properly cold, and then same thing on Friday. The maximum temperatures barely even getting above 0, maybe slightly warmer than tomorrow, but then again on Saturday, Sunday, barely getting above 0 even as the maximum temperature. So if we look slightly beyond this week, we know what is going to be cold, potentially the risk of snow. Things definitely turn more interesting. If I show the latest GFS run, you can see in this one, we have kind of a battleground between cold air out to the east, mild air to a west, and eventually mild winds out. However, if I show you let me show you the European model, you can see this was the midnight run. You can see what happens is that we get this high pressure moving across northern France and number one, it brings significant snow across southern England. It brings a pretty good accumulation there, potentially 5 centimeters or more across to the southwest if that were to happen. What also happens is we keep that cold easterly, winds blowing like this with those really dark blues indicating properly cold air, and eventually turning really cold towards the end of the run as well. If we look at the Canadian model, the latest has just come out, but you've just got spoiler alert for the end there. So you can see same thing as GFS, like I said, potentially one of those kind of small areas of low pressure during Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which could bring an area of maybe longer snow across kind of northeast England, the Midlands. That's indicated there, with more of those kind of through the week. But if we move beyond that, you can see we maintain, at least on this run, we maintain that really cold air. And then what happened on this particular model run is we got low pressure from France moving like this, and we got a proper blizzard across England and Wales by kind of next week, Friday next week, and you can see that would have brought a huge dumping. Would have been even longer. You can see proper blizzard there. So this is one of the potentials, one of the potential scenarios that after Monday we have this high pressure. So we have this low pressure, so high pressure to the north. We have this tropical low, added uncertainty. It's either going to do kind of one of a few things. One thing it might do is it might move up. Actually, I might be able to get the storm tracks on here. Oh, perfect. Okay, so this is our low that we're looking at here. As you can see, there's a few kind of different solutions. Each of these dots is showing where the low might go. See, one thing it might do is it might stay kind of fizzle over the kind of middle Atlantic and die kind of by Wednesday, Thursday. It dies. However, there's also a slightly more significant kind of group that by kind of Tuesday, Wednesday starts to weaken. As you can see, the colours getting kind of less bright, kind of more dull. That's indicating it's weakening. You can see a cluster starting to move towards the UK by Wednesday, especially on that past run. You can see a few had it kind of going through the channel like this. We had that kind of corridor right there, and kind of slight less trend on the latest, but might just be not finished updating yet. You can see what potentially happens is this low pressure here moves kind of across the channel, across northern France, and as it bumps into that cold air on the north, it generates significant potential for snow. And you might be able to see the signal here, maybe the slight signal here indicating the kind of heightened potential for significant snow as you get that low bumping into parts of southern England. And that's exactly what the European and Canadian model I just showed you kind of were. However, there is kind of some uncertainty because it could do kind of a few things. If I show you this, I saw this on the Met Office 10-day and I thought it was kind of interesting. What happens, each of these red lines are showing a front, and this is a warm front in particular. So here's mild air, here's cold air, and each of these different lines is showing the different possible solution from the European model. And you can see it moves north, and there's good agreement it's going to be there. It's just some disagreement on how far north it gets. You can see most are keeping it to the kind of south of UK and Ireland, and that would keep us in the cold air, potentially with significant snow. And however, as we go on, there is a few which kind of bring it further north, potentially putting parts of England into the more mild air, Southern Ireland as well, but remaining cold in the Midlands, further north into Scotland, Northern England, and Northern Ireland, though there is potential that as this kind of bumps into each other, a significant snow event could occur. And if I show you the Met Office ensembles, it's going to be one of the last things before I kind of finish off here. It's already been quite a long video. So you can see we want the line to be close together for better kind of forecast confidence. By the way, it's a temperature at 1.5 kilometers. And you can see we have good confidence. It's, by the way, -5 is kind of snow conducive air, forgot to mention. We have good confidence that we're going to have cold, snow conducive air from all the way from now until around the 13th or 14th, and then notice we have one or two which are suggesting something a bit milder, less snow conducive air, though most are remaining cold. So looking a little more likely at this stage the cold will remain. However, something interesting could happen as we get that low pressure system trying to move into the cold air, and this is a snow rate, and you can see not all of the members, but a lot of the ensemble members are suddenly spiking here as we get that low pressure moving into the cold air, bringing it more higher snow rates, more snow. And if I show you the snow depth postage stamps, you can see strong confidence on showers, potentially some areas of kind of more snow across the country. Basically, all of the UK at risk of as one of these small features of snow. And then you can see by kind of roughly Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can notice we get these kind of larger areas of snow starting to appear. There's one there, some across France, and then notice we get them appearing. This one's across southern England, Wales, France, another one here, same here, we've got one there. And what happens is we get the signal. It's not a strong signal, but it's definitely a signal there for significant snow. There's another one across southern England and Wales. You can see more here, here. And if you go to the end of the run, you can see some of these are potentially significant. Significant. Potentially 30 centimeters in some of these, 20 centimeters there. And you can see really some quite crazy model solutions that could potentially indicate the potential, it's not certainty, but the potential for significant snow, blizzard conditions across southern England, Wales by kind of Wednesday next week. There's 40 centimeters. That would be crazy if that happened, same as that one. So you can see nothing certain yet, but the potential is definitely there that we do get a significant snow event across southern England as this low pressure here moves into that colder air. So that's definitely going to be worth watching. I'm going to wrap up now because it's been a really long video, a bit of a mess. Hopefully everyone still enjoyed it. But kind of just to summarise, really cold across all of the UK this week. Snow across northern Scotland, Northern Ireland. Potential for snow across parts of Wales and southwest England. Definitely icy. Potential for snow across the Midlands, 1 to 3 centimetres. And then by next week, potential for significant snow across southern England and Wales. Thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day.